Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today we're finna react to Caught Up by my boy Black Media Man Cave. I semi-remember this movie. I only watched this movie one time. I think this is a movie where it had a really, really sad ending. But it was a really good movie, though. It's a really good low budget. I wouldn't say it's low budget, but I wouldn't say it was below the radar. That's what I'll say. It was a very good below the radar hood movie, but it had a very sad ending. If I'm not mistaken, like I said, I only watched this shit once. And I don't remember I don't remember when I was watching it or why I was watching it. I remember it was sometime, I want to say around like 2016. I only watched this movie one time, and that was it. But yeah, man, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Welcome to the Black Track, where I do commentary and review on movies with an all-black cast, or at least a black lead. When you try to make your movie so different than all the other black movies that came before it, that's how you end up with a movie like Caught Up, a movie that tries to be, well, everything. At least that's what it seems like writer and first-time director Darren Scott tried to do, if you ask me. Caught Up is a 1998 film about an ex-convict who wants desperately to turn his life around, but he keeps running into one problem and setback after another. But that's only scratching the surface. Caught Up is full of all kinds of twists, turns, and surprises, and because of this, I can't really put a genre on it. It's part hood film, part comedy, part action, and even a little horror. It wants to do it all. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, since Darren Scott's writing credits include all types of films, from Tales from the Hood, to Sprung, to Waist Deep. So it's no shock that we get a movie that does it all from a man who's wrote it all. If you really want to be mad at him though, then you'd probably like to know that he's also the man responsible for that last bad House Party movie, House Party Tonight's the Night, because he directed it. Send him all of your hate mail. Back to Caught Up. The movie stars Bokeem Woodbine as Daryl, in a role where it feels like he only did it for a check. I hate to say that because I really like him as an actor, but seeing as he'd been in several TV shows and movies such as Dead Presidents and Jason's Lyric before this, his performance here comes off as a little, hokey. And in some spots, it's like he's just either bored or going through the motions. Good thing he doesn't have to do it all alone, because he's joined by Cinda Williams, who previously was in Spike Lee's Mo Better Blues, and in some unrelated trivia, was Billy Bob Thornton's third wife. Can a movie that tries to do everything do enough to make me give it a good grade? Well, let's Black Track and find out.
Yo, peep this. The story I'm gonna tell you is wild. Some of it's real serious, and some of it's real funny.
What's that? Is that narration I hear? Flag on the play. You already know that gets a point deducted right off the top. This here is Daryl, and he's fresh out the joint, while smoking on a joint. It doesn't look like he's really motivated to do anything with his newfound freedom, which is why it comes across as a little weird when he starts telling his friend Trip about his plans to open a nightclub. A boom boom room, if you will. His friend Trip says, hey, don't even trip. I got $10,000 with your name on it, partner. Now, I'm not one to judge a book by its cover, but does this look like a Negro with $10,000 laying around?
Probably.
He tells him to just give him a ride to the bank and he'll get the money. Word to the wise. If someone says, I need you to take me to the bank to get $10,000 out, do not, and I repeat, do not give them a ride.
I mean, you never know. You could have been selling drugs. You could have been selling drugs for 5 years and probably saved up enough. You never know.
Didn't even work in 1998, let alone now. Cash App won't even let you send that much money at one time, especially when your friend acts like this. Daryl is hard-headed though, and is so trusting and comfortable with his friend that he even takes a nap, dreaming of all the ladies that's gonna get in free to his nightclub, I'm sure. Nah, he's actually dreaming of his baby mom's Trish and the son that he was about to have. These little dream sequences in front of all this blackness cracks me up because it feels like the actors came in to film them either way before or way after the movie started filming and were given no context. One thing about a good dream, something or somebody is always going to ruin it. That somebody is Trip with this colossally failed bank robbery. Not only does he end up shooting a security guard in what looks like the nuts, he ends up shot himself. This is why you're supposed to plan these kind of things. This ain't a 7-Eleven. Man, they really went all hands on deck for this. This is at least a 3-star wanted level on GTA. It ends with Daryl and Trip getting their tires shot out and crashing, with Trip being ejected from the car and dying. Daryl believes in safety first, so he lives, but he has to go directly to jail. Can't pass go, can't collect $200. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why they showed him getting out of jail in the first place. Why not just start the movie with this bank robbery? If he was just going to put him right back in jail not 10 minutes into the movie.
Right.
Oh wow, looks like he got sent to Oz too. Remember the Oz TV show where Harold Perrineau used to narrate the show in a square cell like this? Man, I missed that show. Daryl gets 5 years, and he got off light if you ask me, because normally, if somebody dies while you're driving during a crime, you get charged with that murder too. But legal talk aside, in that time, he not only lost his girl and his kid because they moved away, but his mom's died too. Damn, did they kill his dog also? Only thing that can make this worse is if his parole officer was Candyman.
You knocked. Which means you can read. Congratulations. Sit down.
The movie has quite a few cameos like this, and it's clear the director is pretty connected. A man fresh out of jail usually can't find a job, but they can sure find a woman, no problem. Daryl sees a woman coming to a diner he's at, and she looks exactly like his baby mom's Trish. But somehow, he realizes it's a different woman. How? I don't know, because both women are actually played by the same actress, Cinda Williams. This woman's name is Vanessa, and he even shows her a picture of Trish, and she's just like, oh, she's cute. What the hell? You don't have any questions? And that's not even the best part of this interaction, if you can believe that. Turns out, Vanessa is a psychic.
Please stop staring at me.
Well, she says fortune teller, but that's just a less scam artist way to say psychic. Vanessa's so-called psychic abilities become a source of extreme comedy all throughout this movie. Like once they leave the diner, this dark figure gets so close up on them that they can hear him approaching, but at no point does she ever even notice. At least let us get further into the movie before you completely drop the continuity. This dude looks like Darkman. Why the hell is Darkman after you, woman? Vanessa gives Daryl the world's smallest gun to fight Darkman off, but joke's on me.
And I ain't going out like no punk.
That little midget cricket got some bass to it. Jesus. What's that they said in the movie Speed? Relationships based on intense situations never work, so you better base it on sex then? Well, Daryl and Vanessa took that to heart. This has been a hell of a day for him, and he's a brave man for staying with her, all things considered. Oh, Jody. Under normal circumstances, you'd probably be greeted by some breakfast or an encore in the morning. But when you're dealing with a weird chick like this, the only thing you're getting for breakfast is a gun in your face. This silly character is Billy, and I can't figure out if his strange voice is acting or if this dude really sounds like this.
Hey, Daryl. My name's Billy Grimm, but my friends call me Wild Bill.
So odd. I mean, is he supposed to be Italian or something? Silly Billy is a friend of Vanessa, which is red flag number 2, or 3, depending on how you're keeping count. And he's only there to offer Daryl a job. Damn, so is that how you interview? Well, after learning what kind of job it is, it's probably a good thing that he tests people like criminals. Billy runs a transportation service where his employees basically drive around shady people in limos. You would think that Daryl will avoid these kind of jobs, but since he doesn't ask questions, he can feign ignorance. Plus he gets to work with Clifton Powell. Okay, that just brought this movie up a point. What a surprise seeing him in this movie. It's like a dead president's reunion now. Did they have to dress him up like a pirate
and everything,
What's the reason for the patch?
He was a crooked cop. Stabbed me in the eye with an ice pick while I was strangling his ass. But I watched that bitch die with my good eye, though.
Only Clifton Powell could deliver a line that stupid, that great, and with a straight face. Daryl really only gets to be happy for about 5 minutes before the universe throws everything it's got at him. For some reason, he continues to date Vanessa, and Darkman reminds him just how dumb that is. I mean, she got you a job, sure, but that was a favor for saving her life. Y'all even, man. Move on. Especially since she won't tell you what's going on, despite your convincing pleas.
I suggest you start breaking it down.
Good lord. Just the fact that she's the worst psychic ever, even by psychic standards, should be enough to at least make you change your phone number. Hell, she's a psychic. Make her guess the new one. I do kind of like the fact that we have no idea who Darkman is. It could be anybody. Vanessa suspects it's her ex-boyfriend or one of his boys. It could also be Billy for some reason. Maybe it's Candyman. The possibilities are endless. It's not gonna matter who it is if Daryl keeps fooling around with this shady underground Uber company. He goes on another GTA mission, but this time it's a dead skunk in the trunk. And what a perfect time for an officer of the goddamn law to show up. The best part of this is Daryl contemplating taking the officer out to avoid a third strike, and his reaction once he realizes the cop just wants to close the trunk. Watch how he plays it off. Smooth, real smooth, Daryl. That finally convinces him to quit the job and take a little frustration out on Silly Billy with this two-piece. But it appears it was too late because two cops take him away anyway. Interrogation rooms in movies are so dramatic. Like, why would you even have a spotlight in here? But honestly, if they did it like this in real life, they'd probably get easier confessions. Amazing what a little mood lighting can do. The door opens and it's Clifton Powell in a suit. Is this a new character? Nope, it's the same guy. You see, he was only undercover as a pirate. In reality, he's a detective and he wants to know what Daryl saw that made him quit all of a sudden so he can close this case and arrest Billy. What I want to know is, how did you find out he quit so fast when it just happened? Detective Powell wants him to go back on the job and work undercover for him. I really feel bad for Daryl, man. No matter what he does, he keeps getting caught up.
Come on in, Daryl. Door's open.
Oh, so your powers work now, but not when I'm about to get aired out by bullets? I see. Fed up with all the BS, Daryl asks outright what the real story is with Vanessa and why somebody is after her. I don't know how the previous events led Daryl here, but whatever. The movie needed to get its exposition out of the way. Vanessa says that she has an ex-boyfriend named Ahmad. He stole some diamonds. He gave her one, and then she took off. That's why he wants to kill her. Why we had to wait so long to learn that, I will never know.
Why
Y'all slept
one
with each
diamond,
other on the
though?
first night. I feel like all the secrets are on
Who
the
cares
table
about
after
one
that.
diamond?
They sleep together again, and I wanted to make a joke here about Daryl being the heaviest sleeper I have ever seen. But with all he's been through, dude deserves to sleep as long as he damn well pleases. Even if he has to sleep through a murder. That's right. Somebody came and murdered Vanessa in the middle of the night and was even kind of funny about it, leaving one of her cards on the body as if to say, bet you couldn't predict that, bitch. Daryl takes off through the window and goes immediately to get some protection. I guess Vanessa's little stupid gun died with her. His gun friend is kind of hilarious. He tries his hardest to sell Daryl everything in the book, even this ridiculous body armor. But Daryl is a simple man.
I was just planning on getting me a Nina, man.
What, just one?
He goes straight to Billy, and to be fair, he would be high on the list of people who I thought did the murder. He already proved he was the master of sneaking up on people who were sleeping. Only he's just as upset as Daryl, so what gives? Billy calls his bodyguard to take care of this situation while Daryl hides in the closet. But the bodyguard is shot before he can even get down the stairs. Your bodyguards suck, dude. This is the second intrusion in like less than 5 minutes. Hey, is that Michael Clark Duncan? Where's his big ass been this whole movie? I don't remember seeing him before now. Hey, it's Screwface. Well, in this movie, he's Ahmad. But for all my people who grew up watching the Steven Seagal movie Marked for Death, everybody knows this is Screwface. He's played by Basil Wallace, who was a perfect choice for this movie, because he has a filmography that's just as diverse as this movie tries to be. He tells Billy why he's after Vanessa in an extremely out-of-place flashback montage. Even Billy doesn't take it serious, so they accidentally on purpose kill him by pouring acid on his head. They check out the closet before they go, but they don't see Daryl. Why don't they? That's why. For my own selfish reasons, I kinda wish he had just fell on dude's head. That would have been kinda funny. Earlier, Vanessa played her little tarot card game with Daryl, and the cards more or less predicted the events of the movie. I only bring that up because one of the cards was the Fool card, and this enlightens Daryl to the idea that he's been a fool this whole time, and gives him the idea to drive to a cemetery and have this poor guy dig up Vanessa's grave. Hey, don't ask me no questions, just go with it. We as the audience have no idea what he's looking for, and even as he cuts into something in the casket and screams, we still don't know what the significance is. Then the scene just cuts away, revealing nothing. It would have been much more effective if we knew what he saw, but instead, Caught Up makes you wait another 5 minutes and decides to reveal it in this slow as hell zoom in scene like we don't already know who's sitting in the chair. It just killed all the suspense. If you're confused as to how Vanessa is still alive, you really shouldn't be, because the movie gave you the answer in the very beginning. Remember how Daryl said Vanessa looked just like his baby mom's Trish? So much like her that they're basically twins. Well, Vanessa saw that as an opportunity to kill Trish and place her body in the bed next to Daryl, making him think that Vanessa was dead. Don't ask how she even got Trish over there in the first place, or how she even carried her. Don't ask how nobody from the coroner to the mortician noticed that it wasn't actually Vanessa. Nah, don't ask any of that. Vanessa has all the important questions that you need to be asking.
But how'd you know it was Trish? A tattoo. She had your name tattooed there? Why?
She didn't want her mama to see it.
It just cracks me up that in this tense and dramatic scene, they thought the most important part was why Trish's tattoo was where it was. Thanks to Big Mama, she was finally identified. Now, knowing that Vanessa basically just takes advantage of every man that she meets for her own gain, Caught Up basically turns into the movie Wild Things. Remember that movie from the 90s with Neve Campbell that had a ton of twists and turns, and in the end, pretty much everybody was in on it? That's the end of Caught Up in a nutshell. Detective Clifton Powell was secretly working with Vanessa for a cut of the money. Ahmad shows up to get what's his, and Vanessa was essentially gonna screw everybody in the end. They do a Reservoir Dogs style ending with a little bit of a twist, since Daryl knocks a light over while everybody shoots at each other in the dark. When the lights come back up, Vanessa is the only one left standing, but oh no, she caught a bullet right in her psychic heart. But she gets a pass, right? I mean, the lights were out, so there was no way she could actually see it coming. She dies in Daryl's arms, and the movie ends when he grabs up the exchange money and goes on with his life. Nope, of course not. Caught Up can't just leave well enough alone. I'm sure by now, all of you have forgotten about Darkman. We all just assumed it was Ahmad and the Jamaicans, but Caught Up decides that this movie, of all movies, needs a twist ending. Candyman reveals that the Jamaicans didn't know about Vanessa until they read about her death in the newspaper. So who's been trying to kill her this whole time? See, that's where you messed up at. They weren't trying to kill her, they were trying to kill Daryl. It turns out that there really was a reason that bank robbery scene existed in the beginning of the movie. Remember that security guard that Tripp shot in the nuts? Well, he didn't die, and he came back for revenge after 5 years. I'm sorry, but this is stupid. The movie didn't need this, especially the visual of his colostomy bag. He's played by horror movie veteran Jeffrey Combs, and he's better than this. He shoots Daryl, who falls into the river, and then he kills himself after a job well done. Only Daryl didn't die, because it seems his friend is a good salesman after all, and sold him on a bulletproof vest. Daryl takes the money, opens his club, gets custody of his kid, and finally gets to live happily ever after. But wait a minute. You know what? I don't even have anything clever to say. I just want to know, how did Darren Scott convince so many good actors to be in this movie? Let's get to the grade. To be honest, I went into Caught Up with the lowest of expectations, and I came away from it kind of mixed. It's not really a bad movie, so I can't put it into the so bad it's good category, but it's also far from a good movie. With goofy acting, a crazy as hell plot, and its all over the place tone. The movie is kind of in a weird place, but in a strange sort of way, I kind of liked it. It's one of those movies that you turn on the TV and catch it in the middle. Nothing is making any sense to you, but you keep watching it anyway to see how it ends. Like a bad car wreck. That's Caught Up. A jumbled up car wreck of a movie. I can't even say a few changes would have saved it, because I really don't think it would have. It's really like 4 movies in one, so the only way to save it would have been to make 4 different movies. Leaving off the silly ending might have made it slightly better, but it feels to me like this movie is a culmination of every discarded idea that Darren Scott ever had, and he was determined to get it on the screen. My grade for Caught Up is a D. Caught Up is the weirdest movie I've seen in a long time, but believe it or not, I would watch it again. And that's it for this episode of The Black Track. Let me know.
So why a D? Why rank it so low? If that's the case, just give it a C+. That's what I'd give it. I'd give it a C+. It, like I said, I only watched this movie one time. I thought he died at the end. I forgot he bought the the bulletproof vest. I forgot he did end up buying that. But yeah, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. That's a crazy movie. Shoot, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see if we gonna watch that one in the near future, cause that's a mind fuck right there. But yeah, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you till then. Peace out.